This is Mario. He dropped out of school at 16 and went on to build the UK's fastest growing pizza company that generates over £60 million a year.
In terms of shop sales, you're looking at about 60 million worth of pizzas.
With a 25k bank loan, he started out by renting one shop in South London. But now, Fireaway Pizza have over 150 franchise stores spread across 2 continents.
We've got stores under construction in Turkey, Portugal and Dubai.
We spent the day with him to learn exactly how he built the business and how he plans to become one of the largest pizza companies in the world. This is More Than Numbers. Mario, my boy, man.
How are you?
Hey, it's good to see you, bro. You looking fit as well.
Trying, man.
Been banging that gym.
Little bit.
Hey, cool.
Come inside.
Let's head inside, man. But let's get straight into it. Let's talk about your business. Fireaway Pizza. Tell me a little bit about Fireaway.
So we started 6 years ago with one store in South London near Mitcham. It's an Italian pizza chain. We've got 160 stores now.
Crazy.
We've got stores under construction in Turkey, Portugal and Dubai.
Crazy.
So yeah, it's going well.
What, have you always been into pizza? What's your background in?
I worked in Nando's before and then opened like a little coffee shop.
Yeah.
That failed miserably.
Damn, what do you mean failed? Like,
Just didn't go to plan.
lost money on that?
Not too much, like 10, 15. But it was good. It was obviously a lesson. You can either see it as losing money or paying for the lesson. So I see it as paying for the lesson.
Let's take it back a little bit. 6 years ago, where did you open your first store?
Sutton. I was just driving past the shop and I saw an old lady in the shop, in like a broken down shop.
Yeah.
It looked like it was available, so I stopped there, I was speaking to her. And she said, yeah, it's available. It's about a bag, about £1,000 a month. I had savings, I took out a loan. The builders happened to be some very good friends of mine, some Polish guys. So they done the work for me and I just paid them back like monthly. That was a big help.
Yeah,
I think the building work came to probably 30 grand. So luckily I didn't have to pay that up front.
And how does that compare to like trying to get a store now? How much would you pay?
No, now it's a big difference. Now you're looking at about 150 grand.
What?
Yeah, but that includes everything A to Z. But if you compare it to the likes of, I don't know, McDonald's, you need like $500,000.
So if I wanted to buy Fireaway off you right now, how much am I going to have to cough up?
A lot, because I think right now we're still going like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So it'd be the wrong time to sell. But we did sell about 6% of it 6 months ago at a valuation of just under 20 million.
What was the reason for selling that 6%?
Just to raise some money, you know.
Okay.
From the beginning, I haven't really taken any money for myself. I needed to buy the house. So.
Let's get back to the business though.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier you took out a 25k bank loan.
Yeah.
What did this go towards?
So that went towards equipment. We got a second-hand oven. We got second-hand fridges.
Yeah.
Had to pay deposit on the shop. So 3 months rent deposit and then 3 months rent advance. So that's 6 grand. Some legal fees, lights. Yeah.
And then once you got all of the first store sorted out, how did you go about building the next store?
Well, so basically we had a customer that came in, he liked the idea, and he said, you know, can I do a franchise? So at the time, that wasn't my plan, but I said to him, yeah, go for it. And he opened it in Streatham in South London. His shop was busier than mine. After another 6 months, we opened our second store in Fulton Heath.
So you sticked around South London a lot?
Yeah, because it's easy to get to. We've got a warehouse in Milton Keynes, so we distribute all the stuff from there. We're looking at getting into like petrol stations, like express stores.
Okay.
So we've got to see a couple of stores.
Not too far from Milton Keynes, no chance we can see this warehouse.
Yeah, it is. We've got office there, we've got warehouse, we've got a flagship store around the corner.
Yeah, let's head over there.
Yeah, now?
Yeah,
all right, cool.
I've seen this Urus a couple of times on social media. You know?
Yeah. It started when it got lifted, so I parked in central London.
No way it got lifted.
Don't ask me why I did it, but I parked on a double red line, come outside and it was in the middle of the air being lifted, but the amount of people that were filming it, and it went viral.
No such thing as bad publicity,
That's what I'm
innit?
saying, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it does well for you for branding as well, because you got the Fireaway all over it.
The amount of people that like take pictures, snap, share it, I can justify buying it. You know, I was gonna have something small, but the fact that, you know, people relate it to the brand.
Yeah.
We got this and we got 4 Teslas, you know, like the small Teslas. They're all wrapped in orange with the same thing on the side, but obviously this one stands out the most.
How much does it cost though?
About 250.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Alright, cool, we're gonna head to your warehouse.
Yeah.
Which weapon are you picking?
Which weapon? We're going the rolls.
Yes, let's do this.
All right, cool.
been in this warehouse?
Not for too long, you know, about 12 months.
Okay.
Before that, we was in a place in Kingston. This one's about 15,000 square foot. That one was about 3,000 square foot. Okay. And then before that, we was in my garden.
No way.
Believe it or not, yeah, man. But we used to outsource most of it.
This warehouse, how much does it cost you?
All in all, about 100 bags a year, 100 grand.
And how much was the previous warehouse costing you?
That was in London, so that weren't much different. But obviously it was like less than half the size. So Milton Keynes in the middle of the whole country, so logistically it makes sense.
But you're a pizza business, like what's the need to have a warehouse?
So we supply all the stuff to the stores. So to keep consistency across the stores, we stock all the products. They mainly come from Italy. And on top of that, we supply some external customers as well. So there's a couple of businesses that I've invested in and helping to franchise.
Okay.
One's a burger company called Fireaway, and one's a cookie company called Westbake. So we supply to them as well. But yeah, I suppose it's better not to rely on other people for your product.
Yeah.
And if you can go direct to source, then, you know.
Why not? I see you got your own flour.
Yeah. So it comes specially made for us, the recipe from Italy, and then we supply it to the stores, because back in the day we used to have about 4 different flours and they used to mix it in the stores. Now it just comes ready made like that and they just have to mix it with water and olive oil.
Okay, you're heavily involved in distribution of like the products to your stores. Why did you choose to go down this route?
Number one, to make some money, and number two, to keep consistency. We can decide the price of things. So if the market price of things go up, at least we can help the franchisees by keeping the cost low.
And how does it work? How do the franchise people order?
So we have our own website, they order on there, and then we have drivers that deliver it.
Okay, and what is this on a monthly, weekly basis?
Weekly.
Yeah. And how many people work in this warehouse?
I would say 7 drivers, 7 people on the floor, 7 people in the office.
Yeah.
I do about 7 people's jobs, so about 25.
No, fair enough. Let's take a look around the rest of the warehouse.
Yeah.
So we're at the flagship store. This is one of, 155 stores you got?
Yeah.
What makes this a flagship store?
Obviously the size, the location. It's been here for about 2 years, so it's quite well established. And yeah, as you can see, it's a nice store.
For the viewers who don't know, this is a franchise store. Could you explain what a franchise is?
So obviously it's their business, but we set everything up for them, basically give them the blueprint and they just replicate it.
And what made you go down this route of, franchise business model?
Probably because it's a lot easier than having all the stores yourself. Yeah. There's pros and cons, there's advantages and disadvantages, but I think we went down the right path. Yeah. Hence why we've grown so quick.
Yeah, so you've pivoted from a pizza selling business to basically a franchise business
and
now.
Distribution, yeah.
And what would you say the benefits are from, making that switch?
As I said, I mean, you've got multiple different people from multiple different backgrounds, all running the business themselves, and we just kind of oversee the brand and help and support them. Okay,
so if I wanted to open up my own Fireaway Pizza, what's the process of doing that?
So once you've passed the initial test and training, it's £150,000, depending on the size of the store.
So 150K to be a franchise, what does that include?
So first you find the location. Once you find the location and we approve it, then we come and fit it out. We give you all the equipment, we install it, the design, the build, basically everything from A to Z. We give you the key back and then you run with it, but we provide training, support.
Yeah. How are you profiting from that?
So we charge a small monthly fee and we supply the food.
Is it a set percentage depending on how much the business is making?
No, that's what most people do, most franchises, but we just keep it as a set monthly fee to avoid any sort of headache, basically. Okay. We just keep it simple, and regardless of how much you make, the profit is yours.
And overall, do you feel like that strategy's worked for you long term?
Yeah, I think so. Probably we could have made more if it wasn't like that, if we went down the percentage route, but I think it works.
So we come into your stores, we see the bright orange, we saw the Urus earlier.
Yeah.
Like, talk to me about the branding.
I think the colours stand out, hence why I chose them. I don't think it should be too complicated. I think 2 colours is more than enough for any brand, maybe 3. They have to be bright, they have to stand out.
And I've seen on Instagram, social media, you're quite involved in a lot of different campaigns going on. Tell me more about that.
I mean, there's so many brands out there, so many businesses. I think you have to, otherwise you'll get left behind.
Don't you feel like it's hard to measure the impacts of these campaigns?
Yeah, 100. It's very hard to measure. Half the time you can't measure it. But if you include things like discount codes, direct to sale
campaigns, then at least you can measure certain factors.
And what would you say your biggest campaign's been so far?
Probably the one with AFTV, you know the. I'm not a big football guy myself, but Arsenal. Yeah, we done a campaign with them on their social media channel, and it blew up. Yeah, we had about 600 new customers in the space of maybe 3 weeks.
What's been the most expensive campaign you've worked on?
That was the most expensive one.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, we've sponsored like Wireless Festival.
Yeah.
We've got a tank and sent it around London, handing out like pizza cards. We've done loads. We sponsor like local community football clubs, football teams, cricket teams. You've got to get your name out there one way or the other.
Nah, you're definitely out there, because I even remember coming across one of your, I don't know, it's like a publicity stunt in the, was it Holloway Road shop?
Oh yeah. With the plants.
Yeah.
We had some basil plants. And before the shop opened, we filled half the shop with like basil plants.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought it was like a grow house.
Viral moments are important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even for a pizza business.
Even for anything, I think regardless, you don't need to have a crazy product, but you need to have a crazy determination to get the product out there, whether it's pizza, burgers, clothing, regardless of the product, as long as you put a unique twist on it and get it out there, make people talk about it, and then there's no reason why it won't work.
We mentioned a lot about the product. Is there a special recipe for it?
From the beginning, we had one of our Italian chefs. We worked with him to put together like a special recipe.
Yeah.
We've stuck with it ever since. It's from Naples, where my grandma's from in Italy.
Okay, heritage.
Yeah.
And like, talk to me about like the ordering style of a pizza, because I see it's quite, I don't know, similar to a Subway.
Yeah, it's a similar layout to Subway. Obviously, customers can see everything is fresh.
Yeah.
I think that makes a difference as well, when they can actually see what's going on, see it being handmade, hand stretched, and cooked in front of them. I think it makes a difference.
Alright, so we've been at your crib, we've seen the warehouse, we're in the store now. But let's get to it. Let's talk numbers. How much revenue in the first year did the business generate?
In the first year, profit-wise, about 20 grand, which was a surprise because I know a lot of businesses don't make money in their first year. So it's not a massive amount of money, about 15, 20 grand.
And now, how much revenue you generate?
So obviously now we're at head office, so we don't have a shop. But in terms of shop sales, between all 155 shops, you're looking at about 60 million worth of pizzas. From a head office point of view, we turned over maybe 20 million, 19, 20 million.
How much does a pizza shop make in a day?
Depends on which shop. I mean, we've got shops doing £25,000 a week, and we've got shops doing £5,000 a week. So it all depends really on the location, on the way that it's run.
Yeah.
But I would say on average about 10,000 a week, so about 1,500 a day.
So I would expect the shops in London to be the highest.
No, not necessarily. I mean, number one on the list is Bristol, and number two is Ealing in West London. So it depends.
What's the running cost of a store usually?
Depends on the rent, depends on how busy you are, but you're looking at about break even, maybe 4 or 5 grand a week before you make any money. Staff, you've got bills which have gone through the roof recently. Rent, you've got food costs, then you've got all the other stuff that people don't really see. You've got like legal fees, you've got accountants, you've got Wi-Fi, it all adds up, man.
So the business is valued about 20 million at the moment. How long did it take you to cross that 1 million mark?
3 years in.
That's crazy.
So after about 3 years, it was valued at 1 million, and then we've been going 6 years, and it's valued at 20. So.
And how does that make you feel, knowing you've come from a 25k bank loan to 20 million?
Yeah, I mean, because it's happened so quick, and obviously everything's happened at not at once, but everything's continuously. It is sometimes it's difficult to stop and look back at, But when I do, we've got a long way to go, don't get me wrong. But it's good, man.
No, I see. Mario, you've been running the business for 6 years now?
Yeah.
What's been your biggest challenge with Fireaway Pizza?
Probably staff, There's always problems with staff.
Yeah.
Especially if if you need skilled workers like chefs, then there's always gonna be, people. Which is why we set up our own training centre recently to kind of train people.
Sick.
Yeah, and
proper.
Otherwise you're going to be constantly worried about people leaving and,
Yeah, and what would you say has been your most costly mistake?
Probably just taking shops without actually checking if there's any issues with them, and then you've got to fix them. For example, we took a shop recently in South London and we didn't check the roof because we were rushing.
Okay.
Turns out the roof was
messed up and we had to pay about 20 grand to get a new roof. So there's little things that, you know, if you rush, sometimes you miss.
Fireaway is what, 6 years old? What are the plans for the future?
We've got shops in Dubai under construction, Turkey, Portugal. So they should be opening next couple of months. So just keep growing, really.
Yeah.
Improve, grow, and expand.
If I was someone who wanted to start, I don't know, a pizza business or a franchise business, what would the first piece of advice you would give?
I would say, regardless of the business, you know, as I said, regardless of what industry you're in, whether it's clothing, food, health and beauty, anything, as long as you put a twist on it, then there's no reason why it shouldn't succeed. Yeah, don't expect it to happen overnight, but, you know.
Hey man, it's working for you, so there's something going right.
Can't complain, it's going well.
No, Mario, it's been an absolute pleasure spending the whole day with you. Bro, I'm gonna see you around.
Take care, enjoy your pizza.
There you have it, guys. This has been More Than Numbers.